Well, good evening, folks. Thank you guys so much for joining us today evening. Um, we have the privilege of having some time with you all today. We greatly appreciate it. My name is Lloyd Phobia. I have the privilege of serving as the board president for Oregon Surf. And with me tonight, you're going to have Linus Road, our executive director, and Scott Thompson, our chief operating officer as well. Um, we get to walk you all through what is special about our club. You have the opportunity to ask questions in the chat. Feel free to take advantage of it. So, of course, there's always a heartfelt welcome from all of you who take time out of your evening to spend time with us. We would walk you through what makes us special from a values and missions and goals perspective. We're going to touch on the club overview, the key things about the programs we offer, and then upcoming events. And of course, at the end, there's going to be space for Q&A. It's always important to recognize that we value your time. We value the time you put into your kids. We value the time that you put into developing your kids, and we do not take this lightly. So we hope to be precise and as much informative as we can today evening for you all. So I know there's a lot of buzz that has happened over the last 12 months as we took on the mantra of carrying the logo for Oregon Surf. And we decided to start off by actually bringing it back to actually the start, the whole brand of surf. Surf Nation is a collection of 60 clubs across the country that choose to take on the logo of being the best of the best. And when we say that, we're not necessarily always talking about field results. We're talking about in everything we do, how we treat our families, the standards we hold in terms of how we perform on and off the field, and the vision of creating a whole player so that our children can live the dreams that they want as to compete in a sport that they love. We are proud to be a member of Surf Nation. We have been a member for the last 12 months, and we continuously learn through our coaching education, through support organization that serves a host of community members all across the Pacific Northwest and across the United States as well. The opportunity to partake in special programs of Surf Select, you get to hear about it some more, and of course apparel and gear from our good friends across the road at Nike that help us. And what is also special is international opportunities. We get to touch on all of these today as we dive in further to lay out what is so special about us at Oregon Surf. But we have to start at the core. Why do we do what we do? Why is it special to understand that this game provides opportunities for everybody to fulfill their dreams? Why is it special to be part of an organization that understands that every player's path is different? You don't have to play the most elite soccer, you just have to play soccer or play sport that you love. And it's important that accessibility and opportunity is given to all. We are proud to be one of the only clubs that offers an opportunity at all the levels across both boys and girls. And in this relentless pursuit of being great and being part of the best, we also look to bring on excellent coaches that understand the game and that understand the values you put into your kids, and we look to replicate those. It's important to recognize all of that is enveloped in how we consider ourselves a whole player. A whole player is not only understanding that things that affect a player on the field, but also off the field. Family life, balancing, understanding that some players also want to do other sports. It's important to create that balance to develop an overall competitor because life always throws new things at you, and the ability to deal with adversity is critical in developing a whole player. And that leads to the inner strength in developing great adults. So at this youth time, we take pride in looking to teach that to our kids and allow them the opportunity to develop strengths from success and as failures as well, recognizing that that is the pathway to success in life. And in all, developing a fun in competing. And I always love this word fun because we always recognize that it's not only always in the winning side of things or in getting things that fun comes. Sometimes it's also in the struggles, the opportunity to train when it's raining in Oregon or snowing somewhere else, the opportunity to travel on very little sleep and still show up and compete, or the opportunity just to enjoy a game in the middle of the summer somewhere in Oregon on one of the fields. You'll find a joy in all of this. And developing that fun in competition is something that we cherish. It's understanding that there's hard work in making your friends, in keeping your friends, and that you're at the end of the day, you just want to go out and compete and leave it on the field. And we envelop these values as we develop who we are. We want to develop a complete person, a competitor, and a citizen that contributes not only to the game, but to the community around them. And it's so important that each of you on the line here tonight reflect on these and see what it means to you as a family as you look to consider joining us here in the future. To be able to deliver on these values, we believe that the structure, the people we bring in are very important. They have to have the pedigree to understand what is important in the game of soccer. They also have to have the kindness and empathy to care for your kids and yourselves as families, and also have the opportunity and the ability to have both exciting conversations and difficult conversations that would elevate your family and your dreams and the players' dreams as they go on. I won't dive into every piece of this org structure, but this is the framework upon which we operate. We have Linus on the line here with us today, and Scott also on the line as our COO that has just newly joined us. But all the other roles, as we'll be announcing them here in the next couple weeks, are some of the faces that you see around, and some new faces always joining us as we always look to push the envelope as we look to be the best of the best in what we do. So, just about this point, I'll transition over to Linus Road to actually lay out some of our club overviews and what makes us different as we think about our player development and the players that we bring into our club and the values that we hold. Linus, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lloyd. Linus Rowe, the Executive Director of Oregon Surf. It's my great honor to present to all of you on the call tonight. I've been a part of the club now for 2.5 years, and we are growing steadily and in a very positive manner, approximately hitting roughly around 1,000 players at this point, from U5 to U23, where we offer our under 23 pre-professional program. But as you can see, our leagues we offer, we want to hit every platform possible for all our players, whether it's Oregon Youth Soccer Association, very excited about the MLS Next program, our ECNL and RL program, which we've had now for multiple years, which has been very beneficial for our girls program. And the Cascadia League, again, links to our pre-professional league. Our home base is our Tualatin Hills Rec Center, where we have multiple fields that we use. Some of you may be aware of them. THPRD, Conestoga, MVCP, all of the local fields in the Beaverton area that give us access to great opportunities to train and compete in games. One thing I want to make clear is that we do not own these fields. We are not in control of them. We work as a partner with them, with other clubs, as we are designated our training times and our game times to have the most access as possible for our players. So leading in our player pathway, this is a good view of how we develop our players in the leagues that they're playing in from start to finish. Our U5 to U7 is all in-house. We have a great staff for our development academy. That's the youngest part of our development academy, where we have our training and our inner squad games with those players. And as they progress through the pathway, you can see U8 to U10. We're still working on development and providing now training plus the ability to play in the OYSA Development Academy Leagues, which are predominantly housed in Wilsonville and up in our area as well. And as they progress down the road with our program, you can see from U11 to U19, we now offer 4 different platforms. We offer the Oregon Youth Soccer Association, MLS Next, ECNL, and ECNL-RL. So ECNL and ECNL-RL, as I mentioned before, are for our elite girls, and Oregon Youth Soccer Association is for our competitive boys and girls. And then the MLS Next, which we're super excited about, is for our top level boys that want to experience that challenge of being the best of the best, being elite, and are pursuing college and professional careers. So as a club, our goal is always to provide the platform that suits every player's needs. And as we look at this diagram, as the executive director, I feel very confident that we're providing that service to all of our members. Digging a little bit deeper into that previous diagram, You can see here in the younger age groups, they're learning to train, okay? And they're developing a love for the game. And this is crucial because, you know, as a mom, as a dad, when you're out there and you watch your player on the pitch, you want to make sure they're enjoying themselves, they're getting their ball mastery, but they're learning to love the game, right? The worst thing is to have a coach at that age where it turns them off of being a footballer. And for us, we want to make sure we have the right coaches and the right training and the right programming for players from U5 to U10 that they develop and they master the ball so we can get them to the next phase of our pathway, which is training to train. When you get to U11 to U14, now it's about our players learning to train and actually push themselves in a more competitive manner, and challenge themselves with tactical and small group concepts within the game. And as we get to that phase of the program, the coaching changes, becomes more small group focused, and our players are learning to work together in whether it be a defensive line or a midfield line or a forward line. But now they're starting to be challenged in a higher level aspect of the game. The key part there is learning to train the right way, and have a focus in training. As a coach that's out there, you will find that our coaches are more demanding. They're in a good way, they're more demanding, but it's more focused and concentrated on pushing them to develop to the next level. And finally, we have our training to compete, which ultimately is, again, depending on the platform. As you can see, it goes from U15 to U20, which we have available for girls and boys. Our goal as a club is to always have a platform for every player, whether it is the MLS Next or the ECNL or the RL or the OYSA, but to make sure whatever platform they're in at that point, they are understanding the concepts of 11v11, tactical parts of the game, and they're getting pushed in those parts of the game. The level depends on the ability of the player and the drive they have to be at that level. The coaching part of it is the same. So they're getting the same messaging, but it depends on what they're looking to achieve and what their desires are based off of the platform that they've chosen to be a part of. So here again, touching on the programs, I've probably talked a little bit into this already. We have our elite boys, our elite girls, competitive development academy. And again, as the executive director in my position, and thankful to have Scott now on board as well, I feel so confident that as we develop our staff, which I'm excited to announce in the next few weeks, as we look and plan out who's going to be working with what groups, our programming and our coaching staff will be really hitting the mark for all these different layers. So the elite boys, again, MLS Next, new in Oregon. I'm proud to have our club be a part of it. It's something that is going to change the dynamic of the Northwest region. It's never been here before, and we're a part of it. And as we build our program and our boys, this will really elevate our players that want this experience. You know, when it comes to the training locations, again, it's going to be the same as far as our allotment of fields, our locations in the Beaverton area. There's more demand on training, which would be 3+ trainings a week for these players. It's a year-round schedule, 10 months plus training in the summer and summer tournaments. And again, there's showcases that will come up that are required by MLS, some are optional. And those events will be attended by college scouts. They will be attended by MLS scouts, US scouts. It's for the elite player that really wants that level of number one, demand of training, exposure, and has that drive to achieve at that level. Again, when it comes to tryouts, it'll be targeted for those players that have the ability and the drive. And as we're putting together our tryouts and our planning, We're already allocating or have certain players in mind that we've seen and we like. But when it comes to tryouts, again, it's game on when you get on the field. Here's a little overview of what the league would look like as far as the teams that are involved. As you can see, there's the four of us here in Oregon, and then we have quite a few competitions up in the Washington area, ranging all the way out of Spokane and all the way up to the Rangers, which is right just south of British Columbia. So as we look at the schedule, it's going to be a very demanding schedule as far as the competition goes. All these clubs are very competitive. And as we're looking at traveling and competition, we know that number one, we do not have the expenses of flights, which is a good thing. And now we're looking at how do we get our players to these events, whether it's by bus or by van, or working together to get them in the competition areas. We are currently working on whether it would be a complete weekend or one game at home and then the next day's on the road. These are things that the MLS take very seriously, more so than any other leagues, because of their very, very acute attention to player well-being, because they are very concentrated on players should only be playing one game a week as much as possible, which is what happens in the pros. And again, being a part of MLS is leading to that level of professionalism, which gives you the opportunity also for college recruiting and U.S. national team exposure. Very, very high level of a platform that we're excited to be a part of. Our elite girls, we have been very fortunate over the years to have phenomenal girl teams throughout our club, and currently in the same situation. We provide high-level coaching, A and B licensed coaches for our pre-ECNL, our regional league, and our ECNL level teams. Currently, we have two teams that have already qualified for playoffs for the regional league, which is an amazing feat given the competition. And right now, we have three teams currently that are in the hunt for playoffs at the ECNL level. And our pre-ECNL level is housed here in Oregon, which we have our up-and-comers that we're developing with our coaching staff. Currently, we're in the OISA League, but that may change based off the new structure that might be coming into place with Washington. So to be continued as far as that goes. This group trains at, again, THPRD predominantly. We also have LaSalle as a venue, which is on the east side of town. And we're working on some other opportunities here as well for this program here on the west side of town. More to come on that here in the next month or so, which is really exciting. And again, as you can see, this level of player is the one that's okay with traveling, is okay with training 3 times or plus a week. There's video analysis that is not listed here, where we go over video and we go over details of their performance, team performance. So again, it's geared for that higher level player that wants to achieve that level of play once they leave our club. Our competitive boys and girls, this is the core of our club. This is where we really work with our girls and boys that love the game. They have a passion with other sports, which is great, but they want to also have soccer be a part of their lives, but they don't want it to be as intense. So here we have the ability to work with these players, help them develop, help them continue to grow and love the game. Again, help them to learn all the concepts of the game, but not have that extreme pressure on them to achieve in that intense environment. And as you can see here, the level of demand is a little bit lower, again, because most of these players have other things that they're a part of, whether it's another sport or another area of study or whatever it might be in their life that we encourage within our club. We're one of the few clubs that say it's only soccer. We're one of the few clubs that support multi-athletes. And I think it's a very healthy thing to do for players that aren't unsure what they want to do with their soccer career. And this is the perfect environment for those players and families that are looking to do that. You can see the demand is a little bit less when it comes to summer tournaments, local tournaments, because generally speaking, these players and these families and players have other interests, again, that we want to support and promote. And we feel very, very proud about how our soccer teams at this level are actually progressing as well on the pitch. Development Academy. Well, this is the very first layer we talked about. And this is, for me, I love this. I love this area. It's, a passion of mine watching the little ones get out there and just love the game. And it's so much fun to see them just learning every minute of every second when that they're out there. When you have the right coach and the right players together, that's when the magic happens. And this is where the love of the game starts, right? And, as you can see, again, everything's local. We do have 2 training sessions a week. It is a year-round schedule. It's not locked in. You can choose to do certain segments. But again, this is where, again, we just developed the love of the game. We play a lot of funny, silly games out there, but they're all on the ball. They're all touching the ball, and they're developing their skills, and they don't even know it, which is amazing if you think about it. And then they just keep developing from there. And again, when they're from U5 to U7, it's in-house. When they get a little bit older, we progress them into the OYSA level, which again is a very competitive level for these players. Surf Nation. So as a surf club, every year we have our new kit that comes out that we bring to our players and our families. So this year, you can see if you're a returning player, that's your kit package. If you're a first year player, that's your kit package. Every year they substitute one jersey for another. So I believe this year they're going to keep the blue and the white jersey on the far side is the new jersey that the field players have, along with the training jersey. Surf does a great job of being cutting edge and looking great for the kids and for the programs. So this is something that you can look to see here coming out again once tryouts hit, and we do have the opportunity for aid for some of these packages as well as a club. We want to make sure that everyone looks uniform and professional, and people aren't showing up in Adidas. Do not do that. Do not show up in Adidas. We're a Nike club. So as we work forward here, we want to make sure we're looking uniform and professional. Yeah, so this is my last piece here. I'll have Scott press play. This is a little bit about Surf Select, our program that is unique to this area. It's an optional program. It's not mandatory, but we feel proud of it because it's, again, something that, in addition of being a part of Surf Nation throughout the country, and actually not even the country, internationally, where players have an opportunity to experience something different. And this is not mandatory. This is just an optional program, which a lot of our players have chosen to do and have really enjoyed the experience and the exposure to players from all around the world, to be honest with you, and the country. So with that, I'll just have Scott.
Surf Nation has a deep commitment to grassroots development, creating pathways for players in line with our mission of experiences and opportunity. We have created this incredible program known as Surf Select, an individual ID program that starts locally, regionally, and nationally.
You can really see the boys that came back from last year that were within the program. You can see that they were able to take a step up higher, and they come out here as leaders on the field and really setting the bar and the tone to what the Surf Select program is really about.
On our group, we have players coming from all over the Northeast, players from the West, coming from Canada, from Ottawa. We're looking to see the fact that they're coming from these clubs and they're all playing the same playing style from all these different regions, and we're able to fit seamlessly into the session. So it's great to meet different coaches, great to meet different players, families from all different parts of the country.
The biggest thing that I've seen is that the girls are so excited to meet other players from other clubs, and they're really encouraging to each other, and they're like kind of pumping each other up out here, and it's like a new friendship and another team to play on. And so just the excitement is just like next level.
It's incredible what these kids get to experience, coming from all different regions of the country, playing with the best of the best. It gives them a little taste of, what their future might look like if they continue with soccer, and it allows them the opportunity to fight a little more because they get to see what other coaches bring to the table, what other players bring to the table. They might pick up different skills, they might pick up different techniques from coaches. So it's been a great experience for players, for myself as a first-time trainer being here as well.
Personally, this experience has been eye-opening, understanding how their coaching style is, watching players from different cultures and different backgrounds and different skill sets come together and really show us, what this sport can really do to develop not just the community, but, the world in itself, because of, how magical it is.
Well, thank you so much. I think we would also make sure we can put that on our website so you guys can watch it too as well. But I think Linus touched on it, and the reason we pull this up to share because we understand that most of you on the line are coming from other clubs. And one of the transition items any player asks is, would I make friends on my new team? How would my new team invite me in? What's the feeling? What I can share is you're only good at the things you practice. And in our methodology, we practice getting onto new teams all the times with our members. And how does that look? It looks in the form of a Surf Select program where we have to recommend players from our state. We have the state of Oregon. Those players participate on the new team now in a region with all the friends from the Pacific Northwest. All the friends from the Pacific Northwest find their way down now to a Surf Select event, most of the times in San Diego or somewhere else. And then from there, they're selected and they go on into a national team that goes on to an international event. I can personally share that I had that experience last year. It was unbelievable. We took a group of players that went all the way to Seoul in Spain. They played against pretty much every top tier academy and the European side, from Juventus to Paris Saint Germain to Barcelona. Our goals, we had goals from Oregon Surf playing against the academy goals from Barcelona. Took them to I believe it was a 3-2 loss finally, but the experience was unbelievable. And those players came back with a degree of confidence that actually we are good. We can be the best of the best. And I share that experience because it can be anybody's dream as far as you choose to dream it and put the work in. But again, for some, that's not what you want to do, which is also okay. And our job is to support you throughout this path. And there are multiple ways we support you, and we get to see some more of this. Talking of support, it's important to know the upcoming things we have. There are players who have spring break starting here in a couple of days, and we offer a great spring break camp. It's ran by our own coaches from all of our levels, from our competitive DA. We have coaches in there to our ECNL and OYSA level. We have coaches that participate to run this spring break camp. It will be a great opportunity for you to come interact with us and see us. I get to see some of you out there. I'll be out there during the week to figure out what is it about Oregon Surf that you want to know some more. Some of you that are considering college already, we have a college ID camp where we're able to invite coaches all across the Pacific Northwest and from California as well to come in and see the girls in our club and give you an opportunity to be seen. We expect to launch a college ID camp for the boys as MLS Next kicks off here on the boys side as well. And then in the summertime, we have teams for us to play both for our U23s, as Linus mentioned before. We're very, very excited this year to launch the Oregon Surf Friendship Cup. There's been significant demand to come into this tournament. I'm hearing upwards of hundreds of numbers of teams at this point, which makes it very exciting for us. If you are interested in playing, please have your club, or if you want to guest play, please let us know. There are methodologies to do that as well. But at the end of the day, the main thing we want to keep on reemphasizing to you all is there is a place for every member. There's a place for every player based on what it is you want to achieve. So this is the start of a handful of informational sessions. And these informational sessions from here on will break out into very specific areas. And Lina shared with you all the different areas we cover: our elite girls, our elite boys, our competitive level, our DA level. Here are the exact dates where each of these layers will be dove into even deeper. Our job today was to introduce Oregon Surf, share with you all what makes us special, share with you all the passion we carry for the game, improving your player, give them a pathway to live this dream. As I sit here and I reflect, I think between all of us who are actually on video, myself, Linus, Scott, and we all have played this game. We all have little ones that are in this game, so we understand the feelings you all carry. And our job is to continuously try to raise the bar and provide a product that can live with the best of the best. With that said, we do have our registration open at this point in time. It's on our website. Feel free to visit to register for tryouts that are coming out so that the coaches can start getting your information of who you are and what you're interested in. Feel free to visit our website. That information is there. And we're really, really excited to see you out there, whether it's a camp, spring break camp, summer camp, tryouts. We take pride in ensuring that what you get to learn about us is we care about what you do. We care about the whole player. And our goal is to raise the envelope to be the best of the best in everything we provide to you. Please note these dates as we go out. Thank you all so much for joining us here today evening. We have come to the end of our presentation. I would allow space. I believe there's some questions. We will get to take them, but if not, Scott, I'll come back to you to close us out.
Yeah, so one, Lloyd and Linus, thank you for walking everybody through that presentation. And I do encourage folks to ask questions. If you have questions about ECNL, the newest program, MLS Next, now is the time to drop that in the chat, and we will have space to answer it. Looks like we have, Claire, if you wouldn't mind just typing the question in the chat. If possible. Looks like we do have a question. When are the tryouts for boys competitive teams? Linus, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, sure. Yes. The boys competitive teams will be coinciding with OISA regulations, which they would start May 12th for OISA competitive, and that's for girls and boys. I think before I will just say this is that for the MLS Next and the ECNL, based off of the rules, based off of those organizations, they will start earlier, more than likely a week earlier, being May 5th is the targeted date for those tryouts. There will be some drop-in sessions as well, but based off of ECNL regulations, that's where we'll start with our tryouts for those level of platforms.
There is another question. Are there specific times for tryouts? Yes, there will be specific times, and we will share that on our website as well as social media. So if you are within the club, recommend reaching out to your head coach. If you are outside of the club, you're welcome to reach out to myself, Linus, our registrar, and we're happy to answer those questions. I will say for MLS Next, our goal is to be the best of the best, as well as provide the most meaningful and impactful experience possible. So with this being a brand new program, we know that there's a lot of questions around it, and we highly encourage you to ask. But just know that we are planning to have the best of the best coaches. So nationally licensed A and B licensed coaches, or coaches that have direct MLS or professional experience coaching in that program. So we are trying to create as many options as possible to provide a pathway to collegiate or professional experiences for your players.
And just to add to that, Scott, I would highly encourage them to attend the MLS Next meeting that we shared on the slide. And they can see that obviously, right? Because that's where we'll really dive into depth on that program. I think we have another question.
Yeah, our tryouts multi-day. If they try out for one team, but a coach feels a different level is a better fit, would they recommend that to the player?
I think so tryouts are a tricky thing, right? So yes, they are multiple days. And a coach has a very short window of time to make a decision based off of a 2-day tryout. But yes, if a coach feels like a player should be at a different level, then that recommendation should happen the evening of the first tryout. So whether that's to play or try out for a level up or a level down, but yes, that should happen on the first evening of the tryout.
Linus, you mind if I add a little bit more context as well?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So while I'm still relatively new to the club, I've been in multiple directors of coaches meetings now. One of the benefits of being a part of SURF is the open dialogue between all the coaches at multiple levels. So in an ideal world, as you try out in this 2-day window, you are always being evaluated for what is the best experience for you as a player. And that experience might change based on hitting a growth spurt. It might change based on workload or if you move. So we want to make sure we're always evaluating players and putting them in the best situation where they're going to have the most meaningful experience. Let's see, another question. When will announcements be made on coaches for each team?
So we are targeting to start announcing our coaches starting April 1. We will start with our DOCs, we will start with our and we will work our way through all of our coaches, but we'll start with our DOCs, and then we will start labeling our coaches for all of our different platforms through the month of April. Is our planned marketing, if you want to call it, ramp leading into tryouts.
Another question. After tryouts for girls, what is the squad size?
Well, I think at this point, our squad size will be between 18 players to 20 players max per squad. Because we have quite a few players that are doing well, and we have a lot of interest as well. So we want to make sure we have the most competitive teams possible, and we want to make sure that we have security based off of injuries, and we want to make sure that girls, when they go to showcases, have enough teammates to be on the pitch to help the team perform at a high level. So that's why we're choosing the number between 18 to 20.
Another question. Will there be opportunities for players to guest play for other teams?
Are they talking within our club or outside of our club?
It doesn't specify, but I would assume the answer is yes to both.
Okay. Yeah, regardless, we support players that want to guest play with one of our teams or play up. That's not really guest playing, but they're playing for a different team within our club. I will say that the great thing about, I'll just give you an example about being a part of Surf Nation, is that we have had multiple players have playing opportunities with other surf clubs around the country. I'll give you an example of a 17-year-old girl that is on the ECNL team, phenomenal player. But we didn't have anything scheduled for a weekend, or it could have been a period of maybe 2 weekends, but there was a club out on the East Coast, a Surf Nation club on the East Coast, that was looking for a player that she played that position. And we were contacted about her playing for this team, which was actually a college showcase event. And for her, it worked out perfectly because she's actually interested in schools on the East Coast. So we 100% support guest playing. And I think what I'm alluding to is that with Surf Nation, there's so many opportunities to do that, to give players more exposure around the country. But I guess in final, it doesn't have to be a surf team. I'm just saying that within our Surf Nation, we have so many opportunities for our players to do that.
Another question, do you set player positions during the season? And I'm happy to answer this one too, from a technical standpoint.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Go
I
ahead,
think
Scott.
it's always
So when you go back to that model of learning how to train, training to train, and training to compete, our players at the younger ages are learning how to master the ball and manipulate the ball and feel comfortable and confident on the ball. So playing positions typically is in the older age groups, where you're trying to have an understanding of different tactics and positions and roles to compete to win, which will set them up for if they go play in college or play professionally one day. At the younger ages, there's a level of understanding, but the primarily focus is on technical ability with the ball and having the confidence to want and control the ball.
Scott, I love your answer. And what I would simply add on top is, um, when you talk about that love of playing, I think the only position a player doesn't want to play is the bench position. So our job is to encourage them to play as many as possible. Um, and that's where the coach comes in as they learn to train throughout this. And then you will get the opportunity to specialize when you get older. And I think for both you gentlemen, I can only imagine the positional changes you had when you went through your college careers and getting into the pros in there. But at a younger age, the joy of being on the field is what we're trying to inspire for our players.
I think that is the last question. Just want to say thank you for all those that attended and making the time and asking the questions. Thank you, Lloyd and Linus, for presenting the information. It was extremely helpful, even for myself being new to the group. And we look forward to having more of these sessions over the next couple of weeks, and welcome you all to register and be a part of the club come May.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much. Enjoy your evening.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.